Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. I'm Sheon Wakimbaloe. Since the People's Democratic Party was upstaged as the ruling party at the center in 2015, like a boxer still recovering from a devastation of a huge punch from an opponent with its bloody nose, still has not gotten itself back to consciousness, the hopes of having a very strong, viral opposition is perhaps dwindling every day as the main opposition party, the PDP, battles with an intense internal squabble. On Friday, the 17th of February 2017, the appeal court sitting in Port Harcourt in Rivers State ruled in favor of Senator Modu, indicating that the dissolution of the National Working Committee of the PDP as headed by Senator Sheriff was wrong. The Senator, Ahmed McCarthy group, is unhappy with the judgment, and they are vowed to contest the case, and they say they will be seeking redress at the Supreme Court. Governors of the PDP and former ministers of the PDP and all the leaders are kicking, rejecting the judgment of the appeal court. One of the governors of the PDP that says he will never accept Senator Modu as the chairman of the PDP is the governor of Rivers State, Mr. Gov Wike. We sat with him earlier and started a conversation on what he makes of the appeal court judgment.
Frankly speaking, some of us were shocked, but then we believe that every court, based on what is available before them, will form an opinion. I do believe that in life, even as human beings, there are times of setback, there are times for challenges. It's for you to put yourself together and overcome such challenges. What has happened to us is a temporary setback. I'm in support of the McCarthy-led PDP to appeal to Supreme Court to determine whether what was done in Port Harcourt was wrong or not. Because by the Court of Appeal judgment of 17th of February 2017 shows that Modu and the other National Working Committee members who were sacked by the convention are still members of the National Working Committee. So that is what that judgment portrays, that the National Working Committee, which Modu was leading, we could not have sacked them. And so it means that all those that were with him are still members of National Working Committee. But like I said, I will not support anything that has to do with Modu.
Why? Even against the rule of law, because the court has said
but we're going to
he stands as the chairman of the party now.
It doesn't matter, we're filing for stay of execution.
Stay of execution and appeal court judgment.
Yes, then we're going to the Supreme Court. It's obvious.
Why don't you want to support Ali?
I know that he does not mean well for the party.
Why?
Because we don't see him so. We see that he's a mode in the party. His antecedent, even during this crisis, tells you that there are people behind who are not members of the party, who do not want PDP to exist. So, I'm not new in this game. I mean, I shouldn't just come and be told this story or that story. Even the characters around him does not all go well for the party.
But you were one of those who brought him to become the chairman of the party.
That's one of the worst political decisions I've ever taken. And in life, when you take a decision, you realize that you made a mistake or you are not right in your judgment in that decision you made. There's nothing stopping you to say, look, I've made a mistake, I think we can correct that.
So you made a big mistake by...
Frankly, I have never regretted in any decision I have taken than this decision I took.
You said you're not going to support Senator Modu, but should you lose at the Supreme Court, what would you do?
Well, when we get to the bridge, we think about how to cross. the bridge.
A politician is a strategist also.
That is within. I should not let the cat out of the bag. But I do believe, I have hope. I believe in the justice system. I believe at the end of the day that we will get victory. I believe that. I do believe that.
Should you lose, for example, are you considering eating a humble pie and approaching Senator Modu?
I would not. If you know me very well, you know I will not do that. I will not.
What makes you think that man is not a man you can work with?
No. It's obvious. It's very obvious. You see, you don't dig your grave. Nobody digs his grave. No man digs his grave. Politically, we have seen his antecedents, his conduct within this period have shown that it does not mean well for the party. If it's a man who loves this party, if it's a man who means well for this party, there's no amount of sacrifice you cannot make. After all, people make sacrifice, people ignore all kinds of things. No, let's give me a trial. So it will be difficult for me. So I can tell you that it will be difficult for me to work with him. That is clear. If I say I'm going to do something, you know I'm going to do it. If I say I'm not going to be party to this, I'm not going to be party to it.
Senator Sharif has been quoted saying it will make you and Governor Fayose irrelevant in the PDP. Should he win that Supreme Court case, are you afraid that you being irrelevant in the PDP is imminent?
How can Rivers State be relevant in the politics?
He's talking about you, Governor Wike and Governor Fayose.
Yes.
That is going to make you irrelevant in the PDP.
How is going to make me irrelevant? How do you...
If he wins the Supreme Court, he becomes a national
How will the party win the elections? How will they come and win a Rivers State? How will they do it?
If he remains the chairman of the party, of the PDP,
that is to tell you
that
although he has denied that, but assuming he said so, that now tells you that he's not the one talking. Because people know that if we have these people here, it will be difficult for us to achieve what we want to achieve. I mean, anybody who means well for the party, can he say that he will make sure the governor of Rivers State does not have anything to do with the party? Can he say a governor of the state will not have anything to do with the party? Assuming you mean well for the party. Now, which state will he win? Is it Borno State? So he must have something to bring to the table. As I speak to you, I have the full support of my people. So how will you do it?
If you are going to run for a second term, if he remains the national chairman of the party, you will have to sign off on your ticket before you emerge.
I have told you, when you get to the bridge, you think of how to cross the bridge. We have not gotten to that point. My concern now is giving projects to my people, not about second term. Because when you begin to focus on that, then you lose track.
He has said that the overbearing nature of some of the governors he will curtail. Would it be right?
Some people make populist statements that they cannot really actualize. In reality, how do you do away with the governor's influence in the state? It is easy for you to come and say, but it is difficult for you to actualize.
But they say there is impunity in the PDP, and that's why the party lost in 2015.
Not in PDP, there's impunity in Nigeria. It has nothing to do with PDP. There's impunity in Nigeria, in Nigerian democracy.
The report of the committee led by Professor Jerry Ghana also says that the impunity in the party, in the issue of primaries and in the issue of the running of the party is what led to the loss of the party in 2015.
Yeah, you see, again, it also depends. What are the people do? When you're no longer in control, you criticize. But when you're in control, you seem to forget that you have this principle. I've not read the report of the committee, but the point is that most of them who are saying that were also in these positions who are directing how the party is being run in their own various states. So now they are no longer in position. It has become impunity. You see, and that is one thing I don't like Nigerian politicians. You are in position today. You participate in that. You leave that position tomorrow. You come around and say the problem we have is as a result of this. Simply because you have lost control. The moment you have lost control, you find that the system does not work well. And which is very wrong. Which is very wrong. Most of the governors that were in that committee, when they were governors, what happened? Let's not accept the simple truth.
You don't believe in that committee report?
I have not read it, but just that you brought up an issue. And we're only talking on the issue you brought. So many things are wrong in the report.
Would you agree that your party merges with some other political parties? Because that's what is being brought to the table.
Well, you see, when you talk about mergers, it depends at what is the extent of mergers. There's nothing wrong in you merging with other political parties to form a formidable opposition. But I think that PDP alone can form a formidable opposition. We have all it takes to form a formidable opposition.
Do you see the PDP winning election in 2019 at all, with the way things are right now?
That is why you have to be careful. That is why the ruling party knows that the only way they can survive is to make sure PDP does not come up.
But even the PDP members, they don't look like they're helping themselves.
No, it's not. The real PDP members are working very hard, extremely hard, to make sure the party is put together. And that's what I'm telling you, of the most. There are certain characters I cannot just see myself sitting down with them talking a politics.
And such a character, I mean, like Senator Ali Modu Sheriff?
I've just told you that I don't have that confidence that he can lead this party.
But do you think it's cheaper, isn't it, than the economic for you to have a political solution into this matter? Maybe a reconciliation will work.
Nobody can say he does not want reconciliation. How many times have they set up committees on reconciliation? You see, the point that I've said, you realize when we lost election in Ondo State, you saw the statement made by Sheriff and Co. That tells you. And if we had lost election in Rivers, they will come up with a statement that how would we win when people like Wike don't want people to participate? That is the way you say you should be chairman of party. Well, because we won, they couldn't come out with any statement. That is the kind of things I'm talking about. And I cannot see myself, in all honesty, I cannot see myself give commitment, work for that kind of leadership. I can't. That is the truth of what I can't.
If it comes to the worst, I mean, like you have emphasized that you cannot work with him, would you be considering leaving the PDP?
That is not an option yet. But what I'm saying is I have hope. I believe that there's no way that judgment can stand.
But if the McAfee group loses in court at the Supreme Court, would you be considering leaving the PDP?
I don't want to have the option of losing. I believe that the right thing will be done.
Because as a lawyer, you either win a case or you lose a case. But if you lose,
no, because I believe,
as a lawyer also you will
I believe we'll have a good case. I believe we'll have a good case.
But when it's not properly prayed at the footstep of the judges and it's not in your favor.
Remember, it was 2-1 judgment. Remember, it was not a normal judgment. So let's leave it at that.
Governor Nyesom Wike on the leadership crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party. We take a moment. That's just part one. And when we return, as the Court of Appeal rules that Senator Sheriff is PDP chairman, what does the future hold for the PDP? Well, Senator Sheriff himself will join us after now to tell us what are his plans for the PDP. Find out more on this when we return. Stay with us.